welcome back, or welcome if you've never been here before, and welcome to my Kindle Unlimited Readathon vlog. I'm so excited, as you've seen probably in the opening B-roll. Okay, editing me has probably gotten that all the way together. I got freaking book mail from Maggie Cole. It's stunning. As soon as I got it, I made a reel, so I will send you some insert shots, but it's so pretty. I first saw it on Crystal's channel when she opened hers. I haven't even taken it out of the packaging in terms of the books, that is. They are stunning. This drops on February 1st. I cannot wait to read it. I mean, look at these covers. So freaking pretty. I'm so freaking appreciative. I think this is gonna be like my last read of the month. I'm gonna have to squeeze this out before the first so I can give you my thoughts. I'm so freaking excited. Her freaking Mafia Wars series has been one of my favorites. In fact, Relentless Hunter, which is the last in the series, is just the culmination of all of these little threads that she just weaved together so beautifully. That is such an amazing romance. So I already recommend Mafia Wars, starting with Ruthless Strangers. It's so consumable, and I believe that there's a book in there for everyone. So anyway, I'm so excited about this freaking book box. It's so stunning. It's honestly gorgeous. I want to start this vlog out by telling you what I hope to read, and what I love about this readathon is it's gonna have a build your own board, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, I wasn't really thinking about prompts. I was thinking about getting through books that I have on my physical TBR. Okay, books primarily that have been either sent from me or that I've gotten from signings. I think it's time for me to start getting through those. So I have my little stack here. I definitely want to wrap up my last read in Tarah Dewitt's backlist. She only has 3, and I believe a Christmas novella. This was sent to me by Carrie from Book for Romance on Bookstagram and here on BookTube. Thank you so freaking much. I love Tarah Dewitt's writing. As you've probably seen, I've already started this book, so I will get into that after I go through like what my TBR is. But the writing is already just so smart. She guts me, okay? Well, let's just get into it. This is following Tate, who is just getting out of a earth-shattering divorce. I mean, the prose in this book. What I love about Tarah Dewitt's writing is that there's a sort of warmth and comfort in the sorrow. She's able to get to the hilarity of it. I just think that that's what comedy is. It's just a step past drama, really. And even though I've never been married, let alone divorced, she completely drafted me into the trauma of that situation. I'm gonna save the quote. I plan on doing my favorites of the month book quotes videos so that I don't make my vlogs and my weekly wrap-ups so long-winded, but she just really has moved me already. Tate and her recent divorce kind of came out of nowhere. She never even knew that her husband or her ex-husband was unhappy, and that has sparked her sort of independence. She has a passion for photography. She's created her own career out of it, and she's kind of skyrocketed in terms of success because an indie author used one of her photographs as a book cover, and she has seemingly been able to glean joy and happiness out of this career, despite the fact that she's created this sort of moat around her. She's definitely independent. And already in this book, we learn that she gets a job that is going to lead her to her estranged father, who left her and her sister when they were young. Her relationship with her sister in this is already freaking hilarious, okay? It's already hilarious. I love the comedy in this. And what's so funny about this location, rather, because she doesn't just photograph, it seems like she creates a whole story and a vibe, which is what, you know, they want her to do on this gig, is that her father's farm is on this huge television show. It's almost as if this ranch is like akin to Yellowstone. Like, it's that big of a deal. So she knows right away where they want her to go, and she hasn't spoken to her father since he left. Even though he's made attempts over the years, like, she's not really interested in engaging or investing in any relationship with the men who have left her, okay? And so it is a conflict of interest. Right now, she's trying to get out of it. I suspect she won't, and will be headed that way. But it's already so fun, and it's like just piqued my interest. The writing, Oh, like I said, it's just so witty and smart and comforting. So I'm loving it, Carrie. Thank you. I will be continuing with this. Obviously, this is going to be my first. I'm not sure with prompts this fits. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. I plan on, you know, building my board later and just wedging prompts in as we go through here. Okay, I also want to read Resisting Mr. Granville. This was sent to me by Cynthia from Kindle After Dark on Bookstagram towards the end of last year. And if you don't know, I believe it was 2021 where I started out the year with Untouchable by Sam Mariano, and I ended up with Descent by her. So I really wanted to get to this last year, so that is definitely a prompt. I love an age gap. Okay, this is a little bit forbidden, I think, in that I think she was like dating, or he was dating her mom. I don't know. It's Sam Mariano. I feel like that's a trope in itself. So this is high up on my list, and it's a little bit long, so I'm not sure when I'm gonna pick this up. Speaking of tomes, this will suffice as a tome because that's a prompt as well. I do want to read Lore by Lily Mayne. Okay, that is the next, and I'm not sure if it's going to be the last in her Monstrous series. They're all MM. I'm absolutely obsessed with it, and I do want to get to it. It's going to be, you know, on KU. It's coming out during this readathon. In fact, I think it'll be out like tonight for me because I'm an insomniac. So like at midnight, this is going to be dropping. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get to it because it's so long. If I'm being strategic here, okay, I'll probably wait. And so if I don't get to Lore by Lily Mayne, I do possibly want to read the second in Jennifer Hartmann's newest duet, which is, I think the second's called A Pessimist's Guide to Love. Okay, after the cliffhanger of a drop, okay, that I had in that first book, which is just like all sunshine, hilarity, swoon. Okay, there's a big reveal. This second one is the continuation of the story. So I will probably either pick up this or Lore. And then I also want to get to some books that I've gotten at sightings. So for book underneath 250 pages, I want to read Plain Love by Avery Kingston. I hear that she does a lot of rep. I met her. Her husband is a veteran. And so she's typically, oh, I love the little like seal here. Those who serve at the top. Can you see it? That's so cute. She typically features heroes with that background. So I'm excited about this. This is a meet cute on a plane where they completely hit it off, but the hero is afraid to tell her that he's in a wheelchair. So I can't wait. I will definitely be getting Avery Kingston, and I also have Hush Darling by her, and another one that I hope to get to. Oh, Take Me Down. Hold on, I'm gonna move books over mid-camera. I also have, I'm dropping everything. I also have Take Me Down, and I think that he is a recovering alcoholic in this one. Forced proximity situation. I think like they both live in a duplex. So I'm hoping that Plain Love hits because I have a few from her. And then lastly, I want to get to Hate Me by Jade. I got this recommendation, I think it was Tamika. Okay, she was singing its praises. She actually has like a reel up, like a short on her channel for this. And this is going to be a bully romance, also stepbrother and forced proximity because of course they're going to be living together. So I got this at Love in Las Vegas. And so I'm hoping that it hits. And it looks like that's going to be my TBR, and I will be back when I have more thoughts. I'm so excited. I'm excited for reading spreads because I know that Melissa might do one. I'm going to have one on my channel. I love readathons because I have the people that I get to meet. Okay, we get to gush about books, all of the recommendations, and I think it's just like the one thing when I was new to Bookstagram where I actually met people. It really was the Bridgerton readathon, okay, that the Romance Book Squad did. Carrie, Alicia, Chris, and Natasha, like they did a read-along of Bridgerton, and that's when I first started engaging with the community as opposed to just watching, because I really watched just from Peaceful Books, and I watched Jen from the Book Refuge for so long before I even subscribed or even commented underneath their videos while I was in college. So I think like readathons and read-alongs are a great way to just like get involved and to meet people, and so I'm so excited about that aspect. I'm gonna stop talking, I'll stop talking, and I'll see you in the next clip, but I'm very excited. See you in the next clip, bye. let the lighting in here fool you. Okay, it's late. I'm tired and I'm full, but I'm happy. Okay, we have a few books to get through. Okay, first we're gonna start with Rootbound by Tarah Dewitt. I'm rating this 4.5 stars. Funny Feelings still remains to be at the top in terms of the backlist. I've gone through them. This is second, and then would be the co-op. This is truly about her finding family. Hers, to be exact. And I love how her and Henry share that same family, how they slowly fall as they get to know each other. And that independence that she's carved out at the beginning of this book is not necessarily her happiness. It was a means of survival. And so I do love all of the messy reveals on what happened with her father, her intrusive family members, this beautiful, I mean, the setting is absolutely gorgeous. This ranch, this like life that her father's been able to really legacy, like forge despite what happened between him and her mother. But the romance in this, I do love how it really develops as they get to know each other. And there's some really cool and clever like tools that are used, you know, by way of the game, by way of them being forced into proximity and him overstepping his freaking job there at the ranch. And I liked the reveals on why her father's been his surrogate one, and his sort of allegiance to her father's legacy and like his soul wound in terms of why he hasn't had a relationship in a while, and also how grumpy he is, why, and also how he grounds her, and the fact that he falls first. And I love, because he's gotten to know her, that he knows that he's gonna have to be patient while she comes live to the fact that they are in fact in love. And he's already starting to like come up with ways to make their situation work. I just loved this. I loved this for the rebuilding of burnt bridges. And again, the family meditation on this, it's absolutely hilarious. I'm rating it 4.5. Like I said, it's my second favorite in her backlist. And I cannot sing Tarah Dewitt's praises enough when it comes to her writing. I just love it stylistically. I love how it feels so freaking relatable, even when she's describing experiences that I've never had, okay? And when she's putting words to ones that I have. And she's just really so smart with language. I now have one of the quotes up on my Instagram, and this will definitely be in my recent favorite quotes video that will be coming up probably, let's just say like mid-February, because it takes me so long to get to things. I mean, I can admit my shortcomings, okay? But I absolutely love this. This is like a great way to start the readathon out with. And I have to say that Avery Kingston hit too, because I'm rating freaking Plain Love 4 stars, and I loved the rep in this book. She does not hold any punches or shy away from it. Xavier is our hero. He's traveling to Ireland for his best friend's wedding. He is a war vet. I mean, they went to war together. They had each other's backs. That's really his brother. And the slew, okay, of things that he has to be aware of and to take into account and do publicly that are emasculating in terms of travel, she goes in on that. I loved this. He's finally made his freaking way onto this plane, and he bumps into our heroine, Lainey, who's a bit tipsy because she's not a good flyer, and she's on her way to her brother's wedding. They're going to the same place, but they don't know it. And I love that she's a bit of, you know, a mess, but he loves that about her. He's smitten, and they just hit it off. Even though she's embarrassed, I love that she's completely and utterly attracted to him, and that we get moments with them at the wedding where they figure out how they are linked, okay? And also how protective her brother is. But what I loved about Lainey is that she's so freaking attracted to him. She never sees him as less of a man. And again, Avery Kingston goes there because there are bridesmaids that do. Okay, his forearm, okay, game is strong. I love that about this. And also how it goes into how far he usually makes it in terms of, you know, the steam with women, what that all entails, and just how his experience with her changes all that, how he really wants something serious, which is what her brother is like afraid of. And this was fun. It had travel vibes. You know, we have rehearsal dinner. We're at a wedding. They're forced into proximity. She's completely smitten. He too in return. And I loved the rep in this. So 4 stars. I'm really happy because I have other books from her. I had a very good time with this. And then I have started Hate Me by Jade. And the prologue in this is about Aspen. She is just getting into this like prestigious high school. Okay, so, and it's a school that her dad has sacrificed a lot to get her into. It seems like her dad is really her respite and her mother's sort of absent, okay? And she loses her father, and we do get introduced to Knox, who has always been her bully. I guess like he describes her as like an ugly duckling that his parents forced him to play with when they were younger. And now she's at his school and she's blossomed, okay, into a beautiful woman that really irks him because he can't seem to look away. And yet his greatest joy, I guess, is like making her suffer, bringing her pain. And now his father has recently married her mother, so they're step siblings. And again, her mother just seems like one that, you know, she's wheeling and dealing for the highest bidder and looking for men to keep her. And she's more interested in investing all of her energy into this new marriage so she can secure the bag than she is with Aspen. And I think at this point, what really irks Knox is that Aspen is a do-gooder, you know, and yet she's harboring secrets and she's having an affair already with a married man that I believe is his uncle. This is all in the beginning of the book. And so he already has something on her. He's already irritated by the fact that he's attracted to her and he's gleaning joy out of making her life miserable. I don't know if there's going to be some like further psychopathy into like why Knox is the way that he is, but I'll tell you, I need that when it comes to a bully romance. I can't just have it be that he wants to bully her because it's fun. Like, I need there to be a little bit of nuance. I'm not getting that yet, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not that the writing isn't good. Like, she's definitely setting up a story, and I like the forced proximity element of them having to live together, and also where they both seem to be sort of abandoned by their parents. They're not the top on their parents' lists, and they do have this contentious relationship. It's the why. It's the why that I need to know. You know, it's the, what is it? Is it just because she makes him feel? And is he having issues feeling otherwise? Is he a psychopath? Like, what's going on with this other than he wants to make her feel pain? Or that he thinks that she's somehow a fraud? Like, what is it? And also, I want to know, what is it about Knox that is alluring to Aspen outside of her attraction to him? Because right now I don't see anything about him that would like have her be interested because of the way that he's freaking treating her. Oh my god, other than the fact that he's attractive. So I just need a little bit more nuance. I'm gonna give her time to do that. I mean, I've just started, so we shall see. I am excited because forced proximity is one of my favorite tropes, being that it's just so versatile. You can do so much with it, and so we'll see how this goes. But I do need nuance when it comes to a bully romance, and typically my favorites have been psychopaths, because in the quest to figure out why the heroine is making him feel something, therein lies the rub, right? Like I have to figure it out. I have to keep you in my clutches long enough, and I have to I just like that vitriol of how dare you make me feel something, and that like having to figure out what is it about them that's just so special that gets me when it comes to the gray matter in a psychopath romance. That works for me. Where I'm hoping that I get some more nuance. Clearly there is something going on with his relationship dynamic with his father. We know a lot about her mom and, you know, their relationship or lack thereof, but not so much about his father, which it seems like he's being bullied by him. So I want a little bit more. Things are being set up, and, you know, there's a lot of attraction and like, I hate that I want you type of thing going on for reasons that I'm not understanding on the part of the heroine, but we'll get to that. I'm hoping that we do, and I will be back when I have more thoughts. See you soon. But that's okay. What's new? I am giving Hate Me by Jade 3 stars. For me, I needed a stronger argument for the bullying. I did become privy to Knox's backstory, but this was a romance that really felt like it was underscored by hurt people. And when I'm in a bully romance, really need that sort of note of she soothes his demons. And that's just not the story that was being told here, and that's okay. I think I've just read enough to know how I like my bully romances. I also didn't really feel like there was an emotional connection between them, although they had so much to relate on in terms of their relationships with their parents and feeling on their own. I didn't ever feel like it was beyond the physical for them. And that's its own thing. That kind of works for both of them. And so there's an argument for that. But I definitely just wanted more from the notes that I believe I discussed with you earlier in terms of what I'm looking for. And I don't know. There was also a sort of like secondary line of action that has to do with a series of killings that didn't really feel fully fleshed out. So it felt like an afterthought for me and my point of view as I was scouring for just a little bit more nuance as to why, other than he really gets joy out of sort of like toying with her, and like why is it that she can only be his plaything? You know, what else about it other than like the titillating, you know, sexual tension between them, and the fact that like he can sort of lord over her in this way, like what's being wielded. So I look for those nuances. I didn't find them here, but again, I will say this is well written, and that just wasn't the story that was being told. So I rated it 3 stars. And during reading sprints, I started the second in Jennifer Hartmann's Dewitt, and it's called A Pessimist Guide to Love. This really feels like it is Cal's book, and I will be honest, the first book I absolutely loved. Okay, I absolutely loved the first book. And he is definitely a tortured and broody hero. And in this book, because it's the second in the duet and because there's like a big reveal, I want to talk about one thing that I really enjoy that this book is doing and what I'm finding disappointing. So starting out with what I'm enjoying. I really like, and I clocked this because I feel like the more I read, the more I'm able to hone in on the things that like really work for me. And one thing that I really enjoy, especially after reading A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall, is when there's the big reveal of information to the hero, right? This news that comes out is always news that the heroine's been able to process, settle into, stand in, and walk through. Okay, and that happens in this book. It is a huge reveal that is like a gut punch to Cal. And I do enjoy when that news comes out, but the hero's response to it isn't always buttoned up. It isn't always the best. I kind of like when it's messy because I think it's exemplar, and I think it sort of like honors what's come out. And so I do like how Jennifer Hartmann is able to hold space for trauma. And I have definitely said on this channel, in regards to like A Court of Silver Flames and books like that, where like length is brought into the chat, which is that healing isn't linear. And she's definitely honoring that. However, what's disappointing me about this, although I'm happy that we're going into Cal's demons, my hope is that we don't stay in it. I don't want there to be a repeat of beats that's playing into this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy that he isn't good enough. I don't want to feel like he isn't good enough. I'm okay with him believing that, but he needs to be there in this situation. And I've already come across something that was kind of disappointing. Okay, I wanted more for her in that moment. Okay. I don't want to feel like she's settling, although I really like Cal. And like I said, I do like that she's diving into his demons. They're very much a couple. I just don't want him to stay in it. And right now we're like ebbing and flowing. We're ebbing and flowing and teetering in it. And I love Lucy's character, okay, because she's not standing for that in her own way. She's not willing to take scraps from him, which is why just the slow burn in the first book is just so good, and the tension between them. And like, oh, I love how he's so broody, but he's so possessive. And in this book, I don't want to feel like he's letting her go and pushing her away when it's a time of like when she's in like great need. And so that's just where I'm at so far. I mean, I'm sure she's going to turn it around. I just don't want to linger in it because I love Lucy's character so much. I love her character so much. And I loved the first book. This feels different. I think it should. And I'm also hoping, okay, that this needs to be a duet. That's my other thing. So we shall see. I will be back when I've read more. And I think I want to pick up Resisting Mr. Granville. Like, I need that, like, I just need Sam to, like, do what she does for me, okay? I just need Sam right now. So I'm definitely going to pick that up of reading sprints on my channel tomorrow. It'll be, like, the first reading sprints that I'm doing, like, on my own, because the very first was at the booktuber retreat, but I had Jen there to help me, and boy, did I need it, because comments were, like, flying everywhere, and I was clicking, so I need to, like, format that and figure out how I want, like, it to look and everything, and make sure that it's going to run smoothly, like teach myself something overnight in terms of like how to get the timer up. Like, these are the things that go through my mind. So it'll be my first like reading sprints on my channel that I am manning. So I want to get that together, and I'm just really excited. I'm having a lot of fun and seeing everybody's freaking books. I'm adding so many freaking books. I think I'm going to end this readathon with like more books added to my TBR, but that's okay. I'm getting the things that I've been meaning to. I've already gotten a couple off of my shelf in terms of physical reads, and I definitely, despite like this being a 3, it's still a 3-star for me because I think that this could work for someone else, and it's not like it wasn't a well-told story. It's aside from that just like plot line that I didn't think was fully fleshed out. It's not like it's not a well-told story. It just didn't hit the notes that I personally look for. I'm so happy that I read it because I bought this at a signing. So, you know, we're running through it, and again, I'll be back. See you soon. Fresh off reading sprints, which I think went really well. It was really nice to just see everybody. I got so many good recs, okay? Ooh. So I do want to wrap up A Pessimist Guide to Love. I did end up picking up Sam Mariano, which I'm loving, and I agree with Tori so far. I believe it's her who said that this had Credence vibes. I definitely see that. I definitely see that, Tori. So, I agree. But As far as the second in Miss Jennifer Hartmann's duet, I think I'm going to go with a 4 on Goodreads. Between you and me, honestly, I think it was more of like a 3.5. And I'm going to settle on a 4 just because I loved Lucy so much. And so I will just say that Cal does turn it around, so to speak, in terms of what I was talking about. The repeated beats in his healing journey and me hoping that he didn't become a hero that she was settling for. I loved the acts of care and how he turns out, or he ends up rather doing all the things that he said that he wasn't going to do, okay, in terms of falling for her and like showing up for her. I think what I loved about this is that he ends up finding the family that he's always had in the men that work for him, that show up for him, that have always been there, but he can now see it in his estranged family that he really pushed away after their shared loss. And in her, I mean, gosh, I just loved Lucy so much, and how all she really wants to be happy is the little things in the everyday. I also found it very beautiful and the sort of like whimsical moments in their shared loss. Those were like really moving and very touching, and of course it was well written. It just didn't hit the same way that the first book hit for me, and I have to be honest about that, because of the things that I already mentioned. So I'm going to be rating it 4 stars on Goodreads. And as I've mentioned, I have picked up, this is starting out to be like my favorite so far. Like, I can't put this down. I'm loving it. I apologize. The kids downstairs are living their best lives. You'll get a quick cut, but this is following Kennedy. She, oh my gosh, is from a broken, really isn't the word. Her mother is quite frankly abusive and she's absent, yet she does have time to invest all of her attention on the relationships that she's in and parade men around this home, making it an unsafe environment for Kennedy. One of these men just happens to be Milo, Mr. Granville, and when he clocks Kennedy, he is very forward about his interest in her. Okay, when this opens, the moment that they had, okay, I was shook. And he also doesn't seem like a heroine that's put off by her age. She is in high school in this book, and they're kind of forced back into proximity with one another when his youngest son, Jet, begins tutoring Kennedy. This also feels like it's going to be a love after loss situation, being that Milo is a widow, and he's never really seen himself with another woman, even though he's dating her mother in the beginning when they have this sort of like, steamy moment, okay, because he definitely has a little dubious moment of worship with Kennedy, I will say. But the fact that he was a widow really surprised me. But Jet begins tutoring Kennedy, and where else would they study other than the Granville home, okay, which forces Kennedy into proximity with Mr. Granville and his taunting. He's literally taunting her, okay? Oh my gosh, with his intrigue, the innuendos, the flashing back to the moment that they had together. And he really doesn't relent until he believes that his youngest son has feelings for Kennedy. They begin to fake date so that Jet can get the attention of someone that he has a crush on, or so that's what he says. And already I'm just loving the fact that their home seems like it's a place of respite. I'm gonna throw the book up, okay, for her, especially when we're placing it in juxtaposition to like what her home life is and what Jet's home life is. And also already one of my favorite characters is his oldest son, Jonathan. And I feel like this is the difference, and this is kind of what I was like hoping to get in terms of a note in, you know, the bully romance that I read earlier, Hate Me, which is that although I may not agree with Jonathan's tactics, okay, his straight up manipulation and coercion and challenge of Kennedy, seeing her as an interloper, I understand his motive. don't condone the tactics, okay, but we are in the terrain of San Mariano, and I understand the motive because she has the potential to hurt his younger brother because he doesn't believe that this whole fake dating plot has anything to do about someone else, and she could potentially be taking advantage of his father. So I like that Jonathan is a character that calls out, okay, what he sees, that the chemistry between them is just so legible. There's something a little off with Jet. He's not really socially aware, and so I'm hoping that something fun comes out of that. But Jonathan definitely sees it. He's in her face. Again, he's coercive. And so when he toys with the knowledge that he has and, you know, gets his jollies off, so to speak, in order to torment her, I understand where that comes from. Okay, so this is turning into all of the Granville men have, you know, a little affinity for Kennedy. So I'm here for the story that's being told so far. Okay, I'm having a delectable time. I will probably be back when I am done with this. And if I'm not sure if I have enough time to pick anything else up, I definitely wanted to read Business Casual by Danielle Allen. I think I can get that out before the readathon's over. If not, I'll probably just end this once I've done that. I still need to do my bingo board. I haven't even created that, so I have some things to do, but I will be back when I've finished this. Let's say that, and we'll see where I've landed. Okay, I am back to wrap up this readathon. I just got book mail from Melissa, one of our hosts. Thank you so much. I freaked out. I posted this on Instagram. Maybe I should add a highlight reel to my Instagram for my book mail because I'm just so appreciative. Thank you so freaking much. And then I also got, okay, a bind up from Samantha from Books with Samantha for freaking Valentine's Day and for the Novellathon. She has spoiled me so much. Okay, this is the second Jessica bind up that I've gotten from her. So I love my book mail. Thank you guys so much. And I want to wrap up this readathon because I'm telling you, I think my favorite read is definitely Resisting Mr. Granville. And the thing that I love about this book is that, yes, there is a taboo nature to it, being that Milo is, you know, so much older than her. She's very young, but I understood why the Granville home is such a safe haven for her. Her home was a war zone. She never felt safe. You know, her mother, if you could even call her that, was so incredibly abusive, and it made sense to me, okay, that Kennedy felt safe and nurtured and secure. And of course she wanted the affections and Milo's desire, being that he's this older, sexy, successful man that she could freaking make feel undone. And it is taboo in that my takeaway from this book and some of my favorite parts was that each of the Granville men really give her what she needs. There are these moments with Jonathan, which is Milo's like oldest son, where he had these like truth bombs, where he highlighted how his father may have not been getting it right when it came to her care. And he didn't treat her with kid gloves, so to speak. Where I feel like in these truth bombs, from Milo, from Jonathan, from Jet, they all have these sort of like sermons, if you will. It is, you know, delineated on the page in these sort of like declarations through the dialogue. I love how they're all right. And then also in those declarations, there's a blind spot, and how those blind spots really illustrate where the other or someone else within this whole family dynamic can kind of step in. And so I really liked that about this book. The Granville home is like really a safe haven for her. I love how this ended. The ending got me. Okay, the ending made me want another book, okay, from a particular son. So I really want all of their books. But like, this was found family and it was taboo, and I loved the romance, and it's just so Sam Mariano, but I think it's actually one of my favorites from her. So I definitely rated it 5 stars. And I want to thank Cynthia, okay, from Kindle After Dark on Instagram. Thank you so much for sending me this physical copy. I loved it so much. Literally, it's my favorite from the readathon. And I love Sam Mariano. Just, she's willing to go there. And it was bonkers, okay? I was shooketh at some of the events. I am not condoning Jonathan's behavior, but he was definitely a favorite character of mine because he was just calling it how it was. He was coercive. He was in her face, and he was taking what he wanted, okay? And just Sam Mariano does that so well. I just wasn't expecting this to actually have like a heartwarming and healing edge, and it did give me Credence vibes in that, and I just loved it. Okay, I digress. I also kind of want to wrap up with Business Casual by Danielle Allen, okay? Because this is a rag from Peace Love Books. She has been singing its praises, and she recently did a reel that kind of jogged my memory about it. It has been holding down a KU spot, and I just feel like this is what the readathon is about, to get to these books. And I will not go tit for tat. This is a workplace romance. It's forbidden because of that. I loved that Amani is a young Black professional. She's talented. She's gunning for this contract at Franklin Financials, okay? She's a social media developer, and she's dealing with some, you know, some drama in her love life. I wouldn't call it that. She's been having a dalliance with a certain man, and it's been drama for her, but her connection, okay, with him in this book was just what sold it for me. Trey is tall, dark, handsome, and in line to inherit his legacy, which is this company. And it is just, the stakes were a little bit higher in my humble opinion, okay, being that this is a Black romance, because I loved that Trey's not only entranced by her beauty, okay, he's utterly smitten. He's angry because she's the best person for the job and he has to hire her, which immediately means that he can't pursue her. And he's able to see her talent and her intelligence, but he's also attracted to her. So that just like got me, that he sees her, okay? Also his initiatives, where he wants to take this family company to help the Black community, was everything. And the stakes on the romance is so high because if anyone finds out about it, her talent, her intelligence completely goes away. What he aims to do with his legacy, this company, completely is overshadowed, and they're just another scandal, okay? And this sort of like meditation on Black excellence and a couple like them and the things that they aim to do with their careers being so great for the community, and how that could be thwarted by public opinion when opportunities are already so little. That meditation in this book is what I absolutely loved. Okay, the Black affluence, honey, it was real. And the fact that they just could not keep their hands off of each other, okay? And I love their friends in this. Okay, her best friend Clock's like, why can't you guys just like do it at home? Like, I don't understand why you're risking it. I mean, they risk it all in this book, and all of like the corporate quagmires and what's at risk just really heightened everything. The steam was delectable. I just loved their chemistry in this and how they were both willing to sacrifice for each other. This was a 5-star read for me. Thank you, Jess. Okay, I finally read it. I'm so happy that I got to it. At the very last minute, I like blacked out my board. I wasn't able to go to the actual live show, but I was in the comments. I got called into work a little bit early. And so I feel like I accomplished what I set out to do with this readathon. I got to books that were on my physical TBR, books that I had bought at signings, books that were gifted to me. Thank you, Carrie, for sending me Rootbound, okay? I loved it, by Tarah Dewitt. This was my second favorite in the readathon, so thank you. I love her writing. Thank you, Cynthia, again for sending me Resisting Mr. Granville. And yeah, I'm glad that I have Avery Kingston, new to me author. I have 2 more of hers, so I'm really happy about that. And I just had a lot of fun during reading sprints. I have a ton of recommendations that I will be reading starting next month. So you'll see that in my February TBR. But I just want to thank all of my co-hosts. I had such a good time with you. This was like a brainchild after one of the group therapy reading sprints that Cheyenne has organized. And I just thank you, Cheyenne. I've had a lot of fun with that. Those are back every single Tuesday, and this came out of it, and I had so much fun. So I want to thank you for joining me. Please consider subscribing and sticking around, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.